Hello, so welcome to another installment of SNL Analysis. SNL Analysis. So here we go. We're going to talk about the Lin Manuel Miranda, episode 2 in season 42. I don't say who the musical guest is because I don't rate them, but I like them. I forget, 21 Pilots, I believe. So the opening monologue, we've got the doll. They first of all, I want to give them extra kudos. I'm not giving them extra points, but extra kudos for addressing the situation in such a quick manner and having Alec Baldwin come in and perform. So, and Alec Baldwin, of course, is an amazing, amazing master, and Kate McKinnon as well is an amazing steering the ship into an amazing direction. So having them open, Melissa Villaseñor, I want to say that you kind of want to keep an eye out for her because she's really making headway, especially with her impressions, and you'll see her throughout this episode specifically. But the opening monologue, 10. Very good job. Lin Manuel Miranda's monologue was an amazing 10. No idea who when he says, "You have no idea who I am," that is the level that he needs to prove himself. I've never physically seen him perform. Most people have never seen him perform. So seeing him perform on Saturday Night Live and having him prove that he can not just host, but host several different times, I think he's definitely a contender for having multiple hosting elements. So 10. Great job. Very inspirational. Then we go into the first skit, Campground, which I give it an 8. I just didn't fully feel it. It was the concept was the people that didn't know how to sing, and this person was trying to help them how to sing, and at the end they become friends. It just didn't. It didn't. I mean, the jokes were kind of like it was just a one-line joke for me, so it didn't really go anywhere. Then we got Cast Party, which was the concept was that there's a teenage cast party that is going on for a teenage play that has been performed, and it's a musical number, and it was pretty funny. It starts to pick up a lot more when Lin Manuel Miranda shows up and he does this whole teenage character and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a 9. I thought it was pretty good. Then we've got the teacher. We've got the teacher element roll over into where Lin Manuel Miranda plays a teacher who is like hip and cool, and the kids are onto it, and it's kind of like whatever. I'm going to give it an 8 because a lot of the jokes were okay. It was just, I think that the concept was okay. Then we've got Day Off with Kate McKinnon. By the way, Kate McKinnon, of course, she won an Emmy. She's an amazing human being and just knocking it out of the park. And she has been the breakout hit for Saturday Night Live in the past couple seasons. We've got The Day Off, of course, a 10. It was just amazing, topical, poignant, hilarious. It was a 10. Then we go into Weekend Update. Weekend Update, every single joke of theirs landed. Every single one of their jokes landed. But I give it an overall low score of a 7, and I'll let you know why. First of all, Pete, I forget what his last name is, even though I like him. He's a cool guy. He's very funny. It was about opiates overdose. First of all, this skit was introduced that he was going to talk about opiates overdose, which a lot of people really care about, and then all of a sudden to throw that away into what is it, Propecia and whatnot, and his hair falling. A lot of the jokes, they were funny, but it was very like raunchy kind of humor. So for me, it just didn't gravitate as much, and it wasn't really that funny, and it was a little bit insulting to take such an amazing topic that could have been addressed in such a powerful way, and then just kind of throw it away. Then we've tina Jimmy and Tina showed up. Jimmy Fallon and Tina Fey showed up, and they did these particular women characters. Tina ragged on Jimmy a little bit because Jimmy has had Donald Trump twice on the Tonight Show, and that was really, I think that actually shook Jimmy a little bit. It made him a little uncomfortable to the degree where he was not really noticing where the laughters were and how to grab onto the laughters, and he felt a little out of place, actually. Especially, I mean, it's Jimmy Fallon. Now, the reason for that is because Jimmy Fallon really has to walk a tightrope between not offending Trump supporters and not offending Hillary supporters. So he kind of has to walk that middle of the road rope because he creates the Tonight Show, which is the Tonight Show. It's a show for everyone. So I think that that's really, and that has been the staple for such a really long time. So I think that certain level of pressure comes in into certain play, especially when he's addressing the Trump situation and whatnot. Then we go into the Music Man skit. I gave it an 8. I think that some of its jokes were, I didn't hear the jokes, I didn't understand the jokes that were sung throughout the beginning of the song. When Lin Manuel Miranda shows up, the jokes start picking up. I think the Wells Fargo concept of selling, of having people sign up for accounts, that was really topical and funny. But I think that the beginning, the jokes, I didn't really understand them, and I think they should have been more prominent, or were they jokes? I don't know. Then we've got Diego Calls Mom, where it's a Latino man, immigrant, I'm assuming, that he is calling his mother and being like, hey, what's going on? This is how America is, and he's explaining the middle of America and whatnot. It was heartwarming. It was touching. Not a lot of laughters there. I gave it a 7 because it was heartwarming, but it wasn't like really, really funny. Those are hard to test for me, to grade for me, because it's like heartwarming and it's like, oh, but at the same time, it's supposed to be a joke. Then we go into Netflix Stranger Things with Keenan and Leslie. That was, it's going to be an amazing, like, staple element, and it was very, very funny. Keenan and Leslie, of course, are hilarious, and all the jokes were very topical about police violence, police brutality, Stranger Things. A lot of people watching Stranger Things. Melissa Villaseñor, again, another little shout out. You need to keep an eye out for her because she did an amazing impression of one of the characters from Stranger Things, played by Winona Ryder. Then we go into Melania Moments, which I gave it a 9, even though I didn't hear a lot of laughter in the background. But I personally give it a 9 because the previous Melania Moments, I had given it a 2. Well, I didn't give it a 9 because I had given it a 2, but I felt like it insulted Melania, and I think that capturing that element of Melania having psychic powers and being trapped and feeling empowered in order to help a younger generation. I think that was really, if you watch the joke, I'm including, by the way, the link to the NBC so you can watch the whole thing. That was really good. That was really good. So that's why I gave them a 9, but I only gave them a 9. I would have given them a 10. I just didn't hear the laughter in the background. Then the Degree of Valor, skit at the end, I gave it a 5. And the reason why, it was because it felt like dirty jokes, and it felt like, I think maybe it's my sensitivity level because of what we've been hearing throughout the entire weekend, but I think just the butt jokes and it just felt like, and then him pretending to be gay, it was just like, oh, look, it's funny to be gay. That's just like, or it's funny to maybe be in the closet or not be in the closet, or I'm not sure. I just played with that whole element. And I think that even though the concept was kind of funny and maybe, it was a little slightly insulting, I don't know, I just walked that line, so that's why I gave it 5. Overall, they got a point of 101, magical number. There was 12 skits, and if you divide that, they got an 8.41. An 8.41 is actually pretty good, and so I recommend Lin Manuel Miranda hopefully gets cast in movies or shows or whatever, so that way we can have him host over and over and over and over again. Because this is a person that really brought the game, really set the tone, and really, perhaps hopefully I had wished that maybe they would have him be the season opener instead of Margot Robbie, because he did a much better job in my view. Even though I like Margot Robbie, he did a much better job than Margot Robbie did. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I want to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful year. Take care.